So why do students fail JAMB? Has the exam become more tactical? Are our students no longer studious? What is responsible for the massive failures of students over the past 5 to 6, 7, 9 years? Now, these are the questions that will be answered in the course of this video, and we would actually prefer solutions. If you actually know anybody who would be writing the examination, this video will be very important for that individual. So I would advise that you please sit back, relax, and possibly send this video to such individuals. Now let's actually start. The Joint Admission Matriculations Board always sets their exams, which is known as the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, every year. And over a period of time, after every result, there is always this negative feeling of the students who actually end up writing it, and it looks like our students are not really doing enough, and it brings ourselves to the point where we start questioning the intelligence of our students, or has the exam, is there an intent to intentionally make our students fail? Sometimes it might not be these reasons. Sometimes it might just be due to some certain factors that we have not actually paid attention to, and this is what I'm going to be drawing our attention to. Now let's actually start. First things first, our students might be very studious, but it might be that they are studying in the wrong way or in the wrong format. What do I mean? I mean that sometimes we do not have our students reading with syllabus. Every year, JAMB actually brings out a syllabus for every subject, and for each syllabus it has all the topics that will be that will be focused on for that year, meaning that it is actually possible that a student might just read and not read in line with what the examination body has for that year. So it is always advised that before a student should actually commence the activity of studying, that you have your JAMB syllabus. It is always online. You can go to the JAMB website. You can actually go to most educational websites have the JAMB syllabus. Go there and you write down the topics, and you can now read in line with what JAMB wants. Because if you just read, you are reading and studying out of range. But when you read according to the JAMB syllabus, it becomes very easy for you to know the exact topics to study for. Hence, you are making your task easier, because I keep telling people there is difference between working hard and working smart. Right now, we are in an era, we are in the year 2026, so we need to start talking about working smart, not just working hard. Now let's leave the other aspect. Now let's get to another part, which is working with time. Most of the time, you see individuals have what I call the fire brigade approach, or I call it the 11th hour method, where you have just a month or two and you feel you can cover the entire syllabus. Now everything still boils down with the syllabus, because when you actually take time to assess the number of topics that you're meant to study, it makes you understand that you don't have time on your side. For example, if you are a science student who wants to write physics, chemistry, biology, you can see that all these three subjects have literally at least 30 topics each. Now imagine you have to study for 90 topics. You know that you can't just do that in a space of 2 months. You need time to properly study for intensive, assimilation. And for this reason, you will actually commence on time. Hence, students are advised to start on time so they can be able to have proper assimilation and have proper understanding of the topic. Now, the third thing is, while studying, students are advised to not have one course material, because you are dealing with an examination that would touch different tactics. What do I mean? JAMB is a kind of examination body that will set a kind of question for you that but will just twist it. What do I mean? I mean, we all know that 1 plus 1 is 2. Now, JAMB might just turn the question to be 2 minus 1, which is still 1. Now, it is still revolving around the same parameters, but now in a different format. Hence, students are advised not to read one course material so that they can actually understand different approaches on how to go for their exams. Now, that takes me to the fourth aspect, which is rehearsing with past questions. Now, rehearsing with past questions helps you in a lot of ways. Number one is it makes you understand the kinds of questions that this examination body can actually bring. It also makes you understand the pattern at which they set their questions. It is not necessarily because they might repeat their questions. No, it is because you will understand that there is a particular way these individuals set their questions and there is a trick to how they set the questions. Hence, you will not just fall prey to any tricky kind of questions or questions that have close answers. Hence, you can decipher these things because you have been continually doing their past questions. I would advise students, if you can go as much as doing 20 years, 40 years, do as much as I have gone to, read success stories of the highest scoring students for the past 2-3 years. And one thing has been particular: they have been persistent in doing a lot of past questions. One of them even said he covered the entire JAMB past questions, all of them. By the moment you have exposed yourself to a lot of questions, honestly speaking, you have number one, a wide range of knowledge, and number two, nothing is new to you anymore. You are now exposed to a lot of questions, and you have the capacity to attempt any kind of questions. Another thing we should also talk about is the time we use to revise. I mean, when you're revising and when you're trying to attempt the questions, you should have a stipulated time. You see students telling you, I want to do a past question, I want to attempt a past question, and they do it with the time that they feel is enough. Like, they just do it in space of 2 hours, in space of 1 hour. It doesn't work like that. Now, if you do your maths right, the examination body stipulates 2 hours to attempt 180 questions. Now, if you do your maths right, that is literally 40 seconds, or I think 45 seconds, 40 to 45 seconds. Now, when you do the math, that means you actually have 40 seconds to attempt one question. Now, imagine you're trying to revise and you're trying to, prepare yourself for the exam, and you're preparing with 1 minute or 1 minute 20 seconds per question. Can you actually see that you are not aligning yourself or preparing yourself for the pressure that the examination will bring? Hence, you are going to have a different experience from what you are preparing for. That means if you are actually preparing for such exam, it is better that you prepare harder than the exam. What do I mean? Why not prepare yourself with a 30 seconds time frame, with a 35-second time frame? Hence, you are aligning yourself to sync with what the examination is actually going to bring to you, so that you are not going to go there and be surprised. So students are advised to prepare with the accurate time, not just because I keep saying it is one thing to know and it is one thing to pour down what you know during the examination. You hear cases of students telling you that I had a lot to write, but I did not finish the exam. These things can be avoided when you have psyched yourself up with a proper preparation. Hence, the right preparation is very, very, very paramount. One more thing we should also talk about is the deeds you should do. Apart from going to the deeds, actually, one more thing we should talk about is you not having the ability to be too acclimatized with a scientific calculator. Now, this is specifically for science students. You see students that tell you that, oh, I saw an angle question, or I could not, carry out some kinds of calculations because of the limitations of the kind of calculators that the examination body provides. Now, you ask yourself, what do you mean? A question like maybe, let's say we are given let's say a machine question, and you are asked what is the velocity ratio of an inclined plane, blah blah blah, and you know that your meant to work is 1 over sin theta, and now your complaint is, oh, they don't have sine, or they don't have cos, or they don't have tan in their calculators. It is paramount for students to know how to derive these angles, these special angles, before they get into the examination hall, especially in short form. Now, you can use the triangle methods to get it, where you can have 1 over root 2, 1 over sine 2, 1 over root 3, all those things. It is better you have equipped yourself with those knowledges before you even get it. Another thing you should also talk about is, yes, I said it before, how to calculate complex numbers. I'm talking about all those 1.6 times 10 raised to power minus 19, 1.6 over 3 times 10 raised to power minus 22. Your indices should be also very strong so that you can actually go inside that examination hall equipped without dependency on your calculator. Now, let's talk about the night before your exam. The night before your exam, you are advised to please have a proper rest. Do not actually bore yourself. You spent enough time. Do not keep yourself awake till 3 a.m. because by the moment you get to the examination hall, your brain is already strained out, and you now start hearing cases of, oh, I forgot some of the things I read and I was tired and all the rest. So please rest your brain properly. One last thing is this: by the moment you get to the examination hall, please always attempt questions that you know first, so that when you have done that, you have enough time to attempt questions that you find difficult. It is always advised to go for English first, that will take less time. Then you now go, if you are going to carry out the calculation questions, then you would actually do what? Have enough time to carry out such calculations. Now, these are the certain factors that we should consider before writing our examinations. So I am appealing to you that please try your best to put things in place, and I promise you that success will be your portion. I am Miracle, and I am here wishing you the best of luck. See you in my next video. Please like, subscribe to my channel, and please share this to any individual you feel that might deem this important for their success. See you in my next video. Thank you very much.